Hello, I'm Steve Gold, the Henderson County Attorney, and welcome to our CATS program video. In 2012, we established the CATS program to help low-level traffic offenders preserve a clean record and get a bit of a refresher about traffic safety. In this video, you'll be hearing about speeding and other traffic laws, distracted driving, and DUI. You're going to be hearing most of that from Deputy Terry Harmon with the Henderson County Sheriff's Office. At the end, there's going to be a test at the end of each section, so what I'd like you to do is make sure you pay attention so you can pass that test on the first time. Thank you very much for watching, and drive safe.
I'm Deputy Terry Harmon. I'm with the Henderson County Sheriff's Office. I've been here now just over 11 years. I do all the reconstructions for the Henderson County Sheriff's Office. I've assisted reconstructions in other states and with other agencies, KSP, KVE, CVE, City of Henderson as well. If you get killed in the car, odds are they're going to give me a call. Motorcycles, cars, big trucks, doesn't matter. Just like you, I sat there. Years of speeding, I ended up with 7 different citations. I know what it's like to sit through one of these classes. I did it several times, and it wasn't until I took the reconstruction class I realized what exactly I was doing behind the wheel of that car. The speed, the distance, the closing rates, none of that made any sense. To me, 55 was just a number. I didn't realize until we started doing math that 55 miles per hour is somewhere around 88 feet per second. And that's when it really started becoming real. And that's why I started changing my driving habits. The test at the end is really just you making it home alive. So it's not about the numbers, it's about the safety, the quality of our driving. So, speeding stats. A lot of people ask us, where does speeding actually begin in KRS? And we put together a little chart. Speeding in KRS actually starts at 1 mile an hour over the posted limit. Yes, we can stop you at 1 mile an hour. Do we? Probably not. The thing I like to show on the chart the most is the 26 or greater. When you hit that school zone in the morning and it's 25 and you're running 50 down Green Street or 2nd Street and you hit that 25 zone running 50 or 52 like we've been catching them, that becomes reckless driving. And that simple speeding ticket that you thought you were going to get becomes an arrestable offense at that point. Reckless driving is arrestable, and you can go to jail for just that simple little speeding ticket. Around the schools and everything else, you have to pay attention. Children are the most precious thing we have on this planet. If we don't take care of them and prevent these collisions in school zones, no one else will. It's our responsibility. Speeding statistics, nationally, speed is a factor in nearly 1/3 of all collisions. Over 1,000 Americans are killed every month in speed-related collisions. At a cost of about $23 billion a year here in the U.S. As I've said before, give me $1 billion, you'll never see me again, and you're not going to get my car out of it. This is a speed-related video that we like to show.
Mate, oh, I'm so sorry. I thought there was time.
He's just pulled out. I don't have time to stop.
Well, come on, mate. It was a simple mistake.
I know if I was going a bit slower.
Please. I've got my boy in the back.
I'm going too fast. I'm sorry.
When and where do speed-related fatalities happen? 60% of them are where we live, rural roads out in the county. Where most people think it's out on the highways and interstates, 60% of those are on 2-lane country roads. How much does speeding really help? We've put together several different scenarios. Traveling 50 and a 45 over the course of 6 miles saves you a whole 48 seconds. Different things like that. traveling 75 and a 70 out on the interstate over the same 6 miles is going to save you a whole 20 seconds. It's none of that speed versus time, one stoplight, one school bus, any of that stuff, this whole chart's out the window. You've saved nothing. How many times you've been going down the street and you see this car weaving in and out of traffic and he's 2 cars ahead of you at the light? Those are the ones I like to pay particular attention to and give them my attention first chance I get. A lot of times I'll tell people that unless you're able to drive from DC to Sacramento, California all at one time, speeding doesn't help you. You stop for gas or anything else, all the time that you think you're saving, you haven't saved yourself any time at all. The difference in a collision, the 5 mile an hour that you think you're just going 5 over the posted limit, the difference in that perception reaction gap time versus the time that my kid runs out in front of you from Dairy Queen. Say you're running 45 down Green Street, which is a posted 35 zone, and the kid runs out of Dairy Queen. The time that takes you to realize the child run out in front of you and you acknowledge that there's a problem and you move your foot from the accelerator to the brake, there's a measurable gap of time called perception reaction gap time. Nationally, we've polled and we've done, and I've been in studies where it's 1.4 to 1.6 seconds. National average is 1.5 seconds. So by the time you perceive a problem and react to the problem, that gap of time is gone. And when you're moving feet per second, when you break a car down in a reconstruction at feet per second intervals, there's a lot of distance covered. Like I said, at 55 miles an hour, your car moved approximately 88 feet in that second. So now you're up to 120 feet in a second and a half. That's a long way when you're talking about a kid's life. Distracted driving. As you can see this little red car here, this photo I actually took myself. This is an intersection here in Henderson County. It's South 41. Over by the stop sign, when I pull up, there's a lady standing there and telling me the best witness I've ever had in my life at a collision. She proceeded to tell me that the lady was on the phone, she wasn't paying attention, she pulled out in front of a tractor trailer. As you can see, the front of the car hit by the tractor trailer. Well, the car spins. As it spins, it goes underneath the trailer. So not only did it get hit twice by the same tractor trailer. What you don't see pan out behind this image is a tractor trailer spun 180 degrees and lands on its side. The lady that's standing here telling me all this proceeds to tell me how she takes her seatbelt off, steps on the dash through the windshield and down on the hood and standing beside the stop sign waiting to talk to me. If nothing else today, take away from that little red car is not a NASCAR. This is not something John Force drives in, you know. This is a Grand Am. It's a throwaway car in today. It survived a dual hit by a loaded tractor trailer because she was wearing her seatbelt. The guy in the tractor trailer actually goes to the hospital. She goes to work and does 8 hours. That's one of the most powerful images I've got. The seatbelt was the difference. He wasn't wearing his, she was wearing hers.
The following content has been developed after discussions with prosecutors, law enforcement, and our CATS instructors. The review of these topics is due to commonly misconceived information and/or frequently asked questions by both citizens and by participants at our live CATS class. By reviewing this information, we hope to clarify the law and ultimately reduce the number of citations issued. Under Kentucky law, a person's driver license is regulated by the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet. The Transportation Cabinet has established a point system to monitor drivers who obtain moving violations. A driver who obtains too many points in a 2-year period faces possible suspension of his or her driver privileges. This chart shows the points for each type of moving violation. An adult driver who accumulates 12 points faces suspension of their license. However, for a driver who is less than 18 years old, they are not allowed to accumulate more than 6 points before suspension becomes possible. As we just discussed, the accumulation of too many points could result in a person's license being suspended. On the other hand, the law specifies certain violations which result in a person's license to be suspended or revoked by the Transportation Cabinet. These type of violations are more serious than a pointed moving violation, and therefore, the punishment for committing one of these listed violations is much more serious. One common moving violation that people seem to be unclear about is giving right-of-way to emergency vehicles. State law requires drivers to yield the right-of-way to any vehicle displaying a flashing red or blue light or sounding a siren. When you become aware of the approach of a vehicle displaying a flashing red or blue light, or when you hear a siren, you must immediately drive to the right side of the road or to the curb, clear of any intersection, and stop. You must remain stopped until the emergency vehicle has passed, unless you are directed by a police officer or a firefighter to move. If on a 4-lane highway, if possible, move to the left lane or slow down for stopped emergency vehicles. When approaching police or other emergency vehicles stopped on the shoulder of the roadway, approach slowly and move into the left lane on a 4-lane highway, if it is safe to do so. On 2-lane highways, approach slowly and pass with caution. You must not block any intersection when you stop for an emergency vehicle. It is also unlawful to follow any emergency vehicle closer than 500 feet. We often get questions regarding bicycles riding in the traffic lane. Here are some rules for bicyclists. Never use interstate or parkway systems for cycling. Use hand signals to communicate your actions to other vehicles. Obey the instructions of official traffic control signals and signs. Stop at stop signs and for stop lights, just like a motor vehicle. Ride a bicycle on the right side of the road with traffic. Yield to pedestrians in crosswalks and on sidewalks. Do not ride on the sidewalk. For a motorist, you must share the road with bicycles. Before passing a cyclist, look to see if there is loose debris on the pavement that may cause them to move into the center of the line. Pass a cyclist only when it can be done safely, and give ample room, about 3 feet, between your car and the cyclist. Realize the air turbulence your vehicle can create at high speeds or windy weather. Look for cyclists. Beware of their narrow profile. You will need to develop your eye scanning patterns to include bicyclists.
Thank you for watching this section of the CATS video. If you have any questions, you can contact us by emailing us at cats@hendersonky.us. You can visit our website, hendersoncats.com, or give us a call at 270-827-6008.